Hello there. And, you know, I think a lot of people's ears are perking up right about now at $30.58 an hour is the minimum wage for permanent full-time workers here at City College. And they were inspired. The folks here at City College were inspired by some of the other businesses around the world who are raising the minimum wage so they can raise people's lifestyle, including Target and, of course, the fast food. You know, $20 an hour is the minimum now for fast food workers, or coming up soon here in California. So obviously everything's more expensive, and if the wages stay the same, people are going to end up on the streets. People are going to end up getting kicked out of their houses. They can't pay their electric bills. We've seen it. We know there are thousands of people sleeping on the streets of San Diego right now. One of the reasons is because it is so expensive to live here. Well, the folks at City College said, enough is enough. We're going to treat our workers with the respect that they deserve, and we're going to give them a raise, a living wage. Take a look.
Higher education has always been a stepping stone to a better life. For the students, it's an avenue to a professional job and a higher income. But here at San Diego City College, it's not just the students on campus that are planning for a better life. Starting at the first of the year, every full-time worker just received a mind-blowing raise that will change everything.
This raise is great. This raise is going to help out. It's going to help everybody here. You need it living in San Diego. Yeah. And especially the way the economy is everywhere. So the raise it's going to be a lot of help for everybody.
Yeah. So did it already kick in?
It already kicked in. This is my first paycheck that had the raise on it, and it was nice to see.
Never before has so much money been given to so many people at one time within the City College system. In this case, it was a moral decision more than financial.
Moral, ethical, right decision. Folks are going from making about $40,000 or so a year to over $60,000 a year. They're going to be able to buy gas. They're going to be able to buy groceries. They're going to be able to go out to the movies, enjoy their life. And this was the right thing to do. I'm glad I work at a place that put our employees first.
It's always been the goal of higher education to lead people out of poverty to reach that living wage at least. But the leadership at San Diego City College realized the dilemma. Hundreds of their own employees didn't make a living wage, so they took the bold step to make it right.
Our focus is on equity. Here we are telling students that they can go to the upper middle class, the middle class, and we have employees who aren't in the middle class, struggling in America's greatest city, but most expensive city.
Using a living wage calculator that was developed by MIT, the new minimum wage for any full-time worker at City College, $30.58 an hour, almost twice the state's minimum wage. That amounts to $63,600 a year, a raise of almost $20,000 a year for hundreds of workers.
I'm going to be able to pay some things off, debts from the past and everything, and I can just live a little bit more comfortable life living here in San Diego.
And it's not just the full-time workers getting a huge bump. Part-timers, including student workers, will now be starting at over $22 an hour.
I noticed a big difference on the check. I've been checking my finances, and there for a while, especially this last couple months, I was pretty much tapped out. But this raise is definitely going to take care of that.
It took a little magic to move the money around, but given the cost of living in San Diego, the union willingly went along. As a result, some of the higher paid workers will get a smaller raise, so the lower paid workers can get a huge raise and a living wage.
So it takes in inflation, it takes in cost of living, it takes in all the variables, groceries, gas, and it is a formula that says in order to live in San Diego or to be in the middle class, you need to be making at least $30 an hour.
And now they are. And yeah, that was the MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. They have this living wage guide. You can Google it and find out exactly how much money you need, whether you're a single person, married person with kids and whatnot. And it tells you how much money you need to live in any particular city. And in this particular city, it's over $60,000. And that would be barely making it with the price of rent and water and electricity and all those other things. And by the way, yes, they were inspired by other corporations like Target and McDonald's and the fast food workers who were basically forced to raise their minimum wage, but they are now at $20 an hour for fast food workers. And, they looked around and said, wait a minute, our people are living on the edge out here. We need to give them this boost. And they found that way. And the reason they we're able to do this is because of the massive cost of living increase from the state of California this year. The school system got 8.3% increase for cost of living. 8%. Let that absorb for 1 year. Who else is getting an 8% raise year to year and actually catching up with the cost of living? Not many, I'll tell you that right now. So because of that money that came from the state of California, they were able to shift it around, work with the unions. The higher paid folks don't get quite as large of a raise coming up, but the lower paid folks are actually being paid a living wage. And this, as Ricky Shabazz, Dr. Ricky Shabazz from City College here said, basically this is what everybody should do. Otherwise, we're going to see our society continue to deteriorate, as we see every single day in front of our very eyes here in San Diego. So good on them here at San Diego City College for sure. And believe me, the folks who are walking around here who had their heads hanging low, their heads are high. And that is worth, well, as they say, priceless. Throw it back to you.
That's wonderful news. Thank you so much, Dan.